When we think of Hollywood's most cherished actors, Michael J. Fox immediately comes to mind. The energetic young man who made us laugh as Alex P. Keaton in Family Ties and took us on a time-traveling adventure as Marty McFly in Back to the Future has captured hearts for generations. But behind the brilliant smile and quick wit lies a story of courage that has inspired millions around the world. For over 3 decades, Michael J. Fox has been fighting a battle against Parkinson's disease, a progressive neurological disorder that affects movement and can dramatically alter a person's life. Yet instead of retreating from the public eye, Fox has transformed his personal struggle into a beacon of hope for millions. His journey is not just a story of illness. It's a testament to the power of optimism, determination, and the human spirit's ability to find purpose even in the darkest moments. To truly appreciate Michael J. Fox's incredible journey, we must first understand the heights from which he had to face his diagnosis. Born Michael Andrew Fox in 1961 in Alberta, Canada, young Michael discovered his passion for acting while in junior high school. His drama teacher saw something special in this energetic, talented boy and encouraged him to audition for a Canadian television series. Michael won the role, and there was no turning back. At just 17 years old, with dreams bigger than the Canadian sky, Michael left school and moved to Los Angeles to pursue his acting career. When he tried to join the Screen Actors Guild, he discovered another actor already had the name Michael Fox. Rather than choose Michael A. Fox, which sounded like a cartoon character, he cleverly adopted the middle initial J as a tribute to his favorite character actor, Michael J. Pollard. The struggling young actor endured several lean years in Hollywood, as so many do, taking small roles and hoping for his big break. That break came in 1982 when he landed the role of Alex P. Keaton on the sitcom Family Ties. The show became one of television's biggest comedies, and Michael's portrayal of the young conservative son in a liberal family won him 3 Emmy Awards and a Golden Globe. America fell in love with his charm, timing, and genuine warmth. But the universe had even bigger plans. In 1985, while still filming Family Ties, Michael took on the role that would make him an international superstar, Marty McFly in Back to the Future. The film became the #1 movie of 1985, and Michael's performance captured the hearts of audiences worldwide. He was young, healthy, successful, and seemingly had the world at his feet. In 1988, at the height of his fame, Michael married actress Tracy Pollan, whom he had met on the set of Family Ties. Their love story would become one of Hollywood's most enduring romances. A year later, they welcomed their first child, a son named Sam. Michael's life seemed perfect. A beautiful family, a thriving career, worldwide fame, and seemingly unlimited opportunities ahead. Throughout his 20s, Michael juggled his 7-season commitment to Family Ties while starring in 10 feature films, including The Secret of My Success, Casualties of War, and the beloved Back to the Future sequels. He was working at a pace that would exhaust most people, but he was young, energetic, and passionate about his craft. The future looked boundlessly bright. It was 1991, and Michael was filming the romantic comedy Doc Hollywood in Florida. He was 30 years old, at the absolute peak of his career and physical abilities. One morning, he woke up and noticed something odd. His left pinky finger was twitching. It was a small thing, barely noticeable at first, but it wouldn't stop. Many of us might have dismissed such a symptom, attributing it to stress or fatigue, but something told Michael this was different. The tremor persisted, and eventually he decided to see a doctor about it. After a consultation with a neurologist and several tests, Michael received news that would forever change his life. He had young-onset Parkinson's disease. Parkinson's disease is a progressive neurological disorder that affects the nervous system and the parts of the body controlled by nerves. It occurs when nerve cells in the brain die or become impaired, causing a decrease in dopamine levels. This leads to tremors, stiffness, difficulty with balance and coordination, and eventually can affect speech, swallowing, and other automatic functions. The disease typically affects people over 60, making Michael's diagnosis at 29 particularly shocking and unusual. When the neurologist delivered the diagnosis, Michael was stunned. He was a young man in the prime of his life, with a new baby at home and a career reaching heights most actors only dream of. How could this be happening? The doctors couldn't give him a timeline. Unlike some diseases with predictable stages, Parkinson's is, as Michael would later describe it, mysterious and enigmatic. There's no way to know how quickly it will progress or what challenges lie ahead. For Michael J. Fox, the immediate aftermath of his diagnosis was marked by a decision that many might not understand today. He chose to keep his condition secret. This wasn't about shame or denial, but rather a complex mixture of self-preservation, professional concerns, and a desire to come to terms with his new reality privately before sharing it with the world. The years between 1991 and 1998 were what Michael would later call his silent years. During this time, he continued to work at a remarkable pace, all while managing his symptoms and hiding his condition from colleagues, the media, and even many friends. It's difficult to imagine the emotional weight of such a secret, the constant vigilance required to appear normal when your body is beginning to betray you. In 1995, Michael and Tracy welcomed twin daughters, Aquina and Shylar. With a desire to spend more time with his growing family in New York City, Michael made the decision to return to series television. He took the lead role as Deputy Mayor Mike Flaherty in ABC's Spin City, a sitcom about New York City politics. The role was physically demanding and required quick comedic timing. Yet Michael excelled. He won another Emmy Award, 3 more Golden Globe Awards, and 2 Screen Actors Guild Awards for his performance. But as the series progressed into its 3rd season, Michael found it increasingly difficult to hide his Parkinson's symptoms. The tremors were becoming more pronounced, and the medication he was taking to manage them had its own side effects. He would have to time his medication carefully around filming schedules, trying to hit that narrow window when the medicine was working, but before side effects like involuntary movements kicked in. Michael has spoken about how exhausting this juggling act became. He would arrive on set early, take his medication at precisely calculated times, and hope his body would cooperate during filming. Sometimes it did, sometimes it didn't. The stress of hiding his condition while maintaining his performance level was taking a tremendous toll both physically and emotionally. By 1998, Michael J. Fox realized he had reached a crossroads. He was tired of hiding, tired of the constant stress of managing his secret, and increasingly aware that members of the media were beginning to notice changes in his appearance and movements. He made a decision that would change not only his life but also the lives of millions of people with Parkinson's disease around the world. Michael chose to reveal his condition in interviews with television journalist Barbara Walters and People magazine. The announcement sent shockwaves through Hollywood and beyond. Here was one of America's most beloved actors, still relatively young at 37, revealing he had been battling a progressive neurological disease for 7 years. The public response was overwhelming. Letters and calls poured in from around the world. But what struck Michael most was the response from the Parkinson's community. Patients and families dealing with the disease celebrated his announcement, thanking him for bringing attention to a condition that had largely remained in the shadows. Michael realized something profound. People wanted a champion, someone visible and vocal who could bring attention and resources to the fight against Parkinson's. It endeared me to them, Michael later reflected. I thought, of course they want a champion. This realization would become the foundation of his life's most important work. After going public with his diagnosis, Michael completed 1 more season of Spin City, then made the difficult decision to retire from full-time acting. This wasn't about giving up. It was about redirecting his considerable energy and public platform towards something even more important. In the fall of 2000, Michael and Tracy welcomed their 4th child, daughter Esme. That same year, Michael launched the Michael J. Fox Foundation for Parkinson's Research. His vision was clear and ambitious. He wanted to bring patients and researchers together in a true partnership, unite the scientific community around the most promising research, and accelerate progress toward better treatments and ultimately a cure. The foundation started with passion and determination, but limited resources. We didn't have a voice, Michael recalled. But what they did have was Michael's star power, his genuine commitment, and an increasingly energized community of patients, families, and scientists who saw an opportunity to make real progress. Michael threw himself into fundraising and advocacy with the same intensity he had brought to his acting career. He testified before Congress about the need for increased research funding, speaking eloquently about the millions of people affected by Parkinson's disease and the urgent need for better treatments. His testimony was powerful not just because of his fame, but because he spoke with the authenticity of someone living with the disease every single day. The New York Times would later call the Michael J. Fox Foundation the most credible voice on Parkinson's research in the world. Under Michael's leadership, the foundation developed an innovative funding model that focused on the most promising research rather than spreading resources thin. They brought together scientists from different institutions and countries, encouraging collaboration rather than competition. While Michael has always been known for his optimism, he has never shied away from being honest about the physical challenges of living with Parkinson's. The disease is progressive, meaning it gets worse over time, and Michael's journey has been marked by increasingly difficult health challenges. In the years following his public announcement, Michael continued to have guest appearances on various television shows, often playing characters who themselves had Parkinson's. He was particularly proud of a role on The Good Wife. People with disabilities can be complex human beings too, Michael explained. It's important to know that we're all human, but behind the scenes, Michael was dealing with challenges that went beyond the visible tremors. In 2018, he underwent spinal surgery to remove a benign tumor on his spine. The surgery was not related to Parkinson's, but its aftermath proved devastating. Michael had to learn to walk again, and with Parkinson's already affecting his mobility, the recovery was compound and extraordinarily difficult. During this period, Michael experienced a series of serious falls. He broke his arm, then his other arm. He broke his elbow, his shoulder, and dislocated both shoulders, eventually having one shoulder replaced. The litany of injuries was both physically painful and emotionally crushing. When Michael broke his arm while at home alone in 2018, waiting for the ambulance with his arm shattered, he experienced what he calls his darkest moment. "I just snapped," he recalled. "I was leaning against the wall in my kitchen waiting for the ambulance to come, and I felt like, this is as low as it gets for me." It was when I questioned everything. Like, I can't put a shiny face on this. There's no bright side to this, no upside. This is just all regret and pain. For someone known as Mr. Optimist, this admission was significant. Michael has always been honest that optimism doesn't mean pretending everything is fine or denying the reality of difficult situations. True optimism, he believes, is acknowledging the challenges while still finding reasons to move forward. In his 2020 memoir, No Time Like the Future, An Optimist Considers Mortality, Michael wrote candidly about his decision to retire from acting. The disease had begun affecting his ability to memorize lines quickly, a crucial skill for any actor. "The nascent diminishment in my ability to download words and repeat them verbatim is just the latest ripple in the pond," he wrote. He acknowledged that whether the difficulty stemmed from age, cognitive issues with the disease, or the constant physical sensations of Parkinson's, the result was the same. He could no longer perform at the level he demanded of himself. Throughout his 35-year battle with Parkinson's, one constant has remained: the unwavering support of Michael's family. His wife Tracy Pollan has been by his side through every challenge, every setback, and every victory. Their love story, which began on the set of Family Ties in the 1980s, has endured and deepened through decades of challenges. Michael has spoken movingly about the moment he told Tracy about his diagnosis, shortly after they married. "So, very early in the marriage, she got this dumped on her," Michael said. "And the moment that I told her was the last time we cried about it together. We haven't cried about Parkinson's since. We've just dealt with it and lived our lives." This approach, focusing on living rather than grieving, has been the foundation of their marriage. Tracy has been Michael's partner in every sense, supporting his work with the foundation, caring for their family, and simply being present through the daily challenges of living with a progressive disease. Their 4 children, Sam, Aquinas, Skylar, and Esme, have been a constant source of joy and motivation for Michael. Tracy has said that Michael was diagnosed before the twins were born, and very early in Sam's life, so Parkinson's is all the children have ever known. "They're just incredibly supportive," Tracy said. "They're very helpful to me. I lean on them a lot." Michael has described how his family gives him strength in the most ordinary moments. He struggles with basic tasks that most of us take for granted. Going out to dinner can be difficult, especially navigating stairs in a restaurant. He now uses a wheelchair for many outings. But when he reaches the table and sees his son, his 3 daughters, his wife, and their friends, all the struggle seems worthwhile. "That's great," he says simply. "Those moments of connection and love are what make the fight worthwhile." The Fox family celebrated a milestone in 2025 when Michael's foundation reached its 25th anniversary. Together, they attended the foundation's annual gala A funny thing happened on the way to cure Parkinson's. With all 4 children by their parents' side, the image of this close-knit family standing together is a powerful reminder that no one fights a disease alone. While there is still no cure for Parkinson's disease, the Michael J. Fox Foundation has been instrumental in driving research forward at an unprecedented pace. Since its founding in 2000, the foundation has funded more than $2.5 billion in Parkinson's research, making it the largest nonprofit funder of Parkinson's research in the world. One of the foundation's most significant achievements came in 2023, when a landmark clinical study led by the foundation discovered a protein found in spinal fluid that can help detect Parkinson's years before the first symptoms appear. This biomarker is revolutionary because early detection opens the door to early intervention, potentially allowing doctors to slow the disease's progression before significant damage occurs. It's not a cure, Michael was quick to acknowledge, but it shows researchers are on the right path. The discovery of this biomarker means that scientists and drug companies can now develop and test medications more effectively, potentially creating prophylactic drugs that could prevent or significantly delay the onset of Parkinson's symptoms. The Foundation's approach has been to identify the most critical gaps in Parkinson's research and direct resources specifically toward filling those gaps. Rather than spreading funding across many small projects, they focused on big transformative research that can accelerate progress toward a cure. This strategic approach has made the foundation extraordinarily effective, attracting not just patient donations but also significant contributions from major pharmaceutical companies and other large donors who see the foundation as the most effective vehicle for advancing Parkinson's research. Michael has described the foundation's mission simply: we're in business to go out of business. The goal is to find a cure and make the foundation unnecessary. While that day hasn't come yet, the progress made over the past 25 years would have seemed impossible when Michael first received his diagnosis. As Michael J. Fox has entered his 60s, the reality of living with Parkinson's for more than half his life has become increasingly apparent. The disease has progressed, bringing new challenges and requiring new adaptations. Michael's openness about these challenges has been invaluable in helping others understand what life with Parkinson's really looks like. Michael now uses a wheelchair regularly to get around. It took some getting used to, he admits, but characteristically adds, "You take the good, and you seize it." He describes his mornings as a kind of daily negotiation with his body. "I wake up and get the message of what the day is going to be like, and I try to adjust to it," he explains. "I keep getting new challenges physically, and I get through it." Simple tasks that most of us complete without thinking can take Michael much longer. Putting on shoes, for example, might take several minutes. His wife Tracy will sometimes ask if he wants help, and Michael must make a calculation. If you do it, it'll take a minute. If I do it, it'll take a couple of minutes. He weighs each decision, trying to maintain as much independence as possible, while also being practical about his limitations. Communication has become one of Michael's biggest frustrations. Voice-enabled technology, which could potentially help, often fails to understand him correctly due to his speech changes from Parkinson's. He gives the example of trying to say, "I'm catching a lot of criticism for that," and the technology interpreting it as, "I'm flying on a ship tomorrow." These daily frustrations are compounded by the progressive nature of the disease. Yet despite these challenges, Michael continues to work and engage with the world. In 2023, he appeared in the documentary Still, a Michael J. Fox movie, which tells his story in his own words. The film was nominated for 7 Emmy Awards and won 4. When talking about the documentary, Michael told director Davis Guggenheim, "No violins," meaning he didn't want the film to be a pity party or overly sentimental. He wanted it to be honest about the challenges while also celebrating the life he's lived and continues to live. In October 2025, Michael released his 5th book, Future Boy, Back to the Future and My Journey Through the Space-Time Continuum, which covers his experience playing both Alex P. Keaton in Family Ties and Marty McFly in Back to the Future simultaneously. The book demonstrates that Michael's mind remains sharp and his storytelling ability strong, even as his body presents increasing challenges. Michael has also made a return to acting, with a guest role in the 3rd season of the Apple TV Plus series Shrinking, which stars Harrison Ford as a therapist with Parkinson's. The show was loosely inspired by Michael's story. For Michael, playing a character with Parkinson's was liberating. "It was the first time ever I get to show up on set, and I didn't have to worry about, am I too tired or coughing or anything? He said, I just do it. One of the most profound aspects of Michael J. Fox's journey has been his evolution in how he thinks about his disease and his life. This philosophical shift didn't happen overnight. It came through years of struggle, introspection, and hard-won wisdom. In a 2020 interview with Willie Geist on Today, Michael described a crucial turning point in his thinking. You eventually come to a place where you go, I can do this. This is just the way it is. It's something that happened to me. It's not something I'm suffering from. It's my reality. I find that the partner of gratitude is acceptance and surrender. This might sound like resignation, but it's actually the opposite. For Michael, acceptance doesn't mean giving up or becoming passive. Instead, it means acknowledging reality as it is, not as you wish it were, and then deciding how to respond from that place of truth. It's about focusing energy on what you can control, rather than exhausting yourself fighting things you cannot change. There's no timeline, there's no series of stages that you go through, not in the same way that you would with some other diseases, Michael has explained. It's much more mysterious and enigmatic. This uncertainty could be paralyzing, but Michael has chosen to see it differently. Since he doesn't know what's coming, he focuses on today, on this moment, on the people and experiences right in front of him. Michael has also been remarkably honest about the limits of other people's understanding, even those closest to him. When his family tells him to slow down, he takes it with a grain of salt. Even people who love me more than anyone in the world, and the people that are there for me all the time, don't have this. He explains. They don't know what it's like. This isn't said with bitterness, but with the understanding that some experiences are fundamentally solitary. At the same time, Michael has addressed the question many have asked. Could his lifestyle in his younger years have contributed to his Parkinson's? In his 2022 Oscar acceptance speech, he joked with presenter Woody Harrelson that they did some damage in their youth while partying together in the 1980s. Later, when asked directly if his partying could have contributed to his diagnosis, Michael said it is very possible, but he doesn't dwell on regret. The past is the past. What matters is how you live now. When we assess Michael J. Fox's life and career, his legacy extends far beyond his considerable achievements as an actor. Yes, he gave us memorable characters that brought joy to millions. Yes, he won Emmy Awards, Golden Globes, and an honorary Oscar. But his most significant contribution may be how he transformed a personal tragedy into a global movement for change. The Michael J. Fox Foundation's impact cannot be overstated. Scientific collaborations that the Foundation has fostered have broken down traditional barriers between research institutions and brought together the brightest minds in neuroscience. But perhaps equally important is how Michael has changed the public conversation about Parkinson's disease and disability more broadly. By being so open about his struggles, by refusing to hide or retreat from public life, he has helped reduce the stigma around neurological diseases. He has shown that people with disabilities are not defined by their conditions, that they can continue to contribute meaningfully to society, and that they deserve respect and dignity. Michael has been particularly passionate about ensuring that people with disabilities are portrayed accurately and fully in media and culture. People with disabilities can be complex human beings too, he has said. They can be heroes and villains, comedians and serious dramatic actors. They can be funny, serious, kind, difficult, just like anyone else. By insisting on this full humanity, Michael has helped shift cultural perceptions. For the 8.5 million people worldwide living with Parkinson's disease, Michael J. Fox has been more than a celebrity spokesperson. He has been a voice, an advocate, a champion, and a symbol of hope. When newly diagnosed patients look for inspiration, they often find it in Michael's story. If he can continue to find joy, purpose, and meaning while living with Parkinson's, perhaps they can too. As Michael J. Fox enters his mid-60s, he continues to adapt to the changing reality of his disease. The challenges are greater now than they were 10 or 20 years ago. He uses a wheelchair more often, simple tasks take longer, communication is harder. His body presents new obstacles regularly, yet he continues to engage with life fully. He still works on projects that excite him. He still shows up for his foundation's events, raising money and awareness. He still writes, sharing his experiences and insights with readers. He still makes people laugh with his self-deprecating humor and quick wit. When asked about the future, Michael is characteristically honest about the uncertainty. He doesn't know what lies ahead, and doctors can't give him a clear timeline. Parkinson's is mysterious and enigmatic, as he says, with no predictable path. But he has learned to be comfortable with that uncertainty, or at least to accept it. Michael has said he doesn't want a dramatic death after battling Parkinson's for 35 years. He hopes for something peaceful, surrounded by family. But in the meantime, he's focused on living, not dying. Each day brings its message about what that day will be like, and Michael adjusts accordingly. His family remains his superpower. Tracy continues to be his partner in every sense. Their children, now adults themselves, provide support and strength. The grandchildren who have come along bring new joy and new reasons to keep fighting for better treatments and ultimately a cure. The Foundation's work continues with the same urgency and focus that has characterized it from the beginning. Research is progressing. New treatments are being developed and tested. The biomarker discovery has opened new avenues of investigation. While a cure remains elusive, the pieces are coming together, and Michael remains optimistic that significant breakthroughs are possible in the coming years. Fox's journey with Parkinson's disease offers profound lessons that extend far beyond the specific challenges of this particular illness. His story speaks to universal human experiences. Facing unexpected adversity, finding purpose in difficult circumstances, maintaining hope when outcomes are uncertain, and choosing how to respond when life doesn't go according to plan. First, Michael teaches us the power of transparency and vulnerability. By going public with his diagnosis and being honest about his struggles, he transformed what could have been a source of shame into a platform for change. He showed that there is strength in admitting weakness, power in asking for help, and dignity in being honest about our limitations. Second, he demonstrates the importance of acceptance without resignation. Michael accepted that he had Parkinson's disease and that it would progress over time. He accepted that his acting career would need to change and eventually end, but he never accepted that his life was over, or that he couldn't make a meaningful contribution. He found new purpose, new ways to use his talents and platform, and new sources of meaning and joy. But third, Michael's story illustrates the transformative power of gratitude. Despite all the challenges Parkinson's has brought into his life, Michael regularly expresses gratitude for what he has: a loving family, meaningful work, the ability to help others, and moments of joy and connection. He has learned that gratitude and acceptance are partners, each supporting and reinforcing the other. Fourth, he shows us the importance of community and support. Michael has never pretended to fight Parkinson's alone. He has leaned on his family, his medical team, his colleagues at the Foundation, and the broader community of people affected by Parkinson's. He has both received support and given it, creating a reciprocal relationship that enriches everyone involved. Finally, Michael teaches us about the value of humor even in dark times. His quick wit and self-deprecating humor haven't disappeared despite the seriousness of his condition. He can joke about his symptoms, laugh at the absurdities of living with a chronic illness, and find moments of levity even in difficult circumstances. This humor isn't a denial of reality, but a way of maintaining perspective and humanity. Michael J. Fox's journey with Parkinson's disease is ongoing. There is no neat conclusion to this story, no final chapter where everything is resolved. The disease continues to progress, bringing new challenges and requiring new adaptations. The search for better treatments and ultimately a cure continues, with progress measured in years and decades rather than days and weeks. But what Michael has accomplished in these 35 years since his diagnosis is nothing short of remarkable. He has raised billions of dollars for research. He has brought unprecedented attention to Parkinson's disease. He has changed how society views and talks about neurological conditions. He has inspired millions of people, both those with Parkinson's and those facing other life challenges. Most importantly, perhaps, he has demonstrated that a diagnosis is not a destiny. Life can still be rich, meaningful, and full of purpose even in the face of significant health challenges. You can still love and be loved. You can still work toward important goals. You can still find reasons to laugh, moments to celebrate, and experiences to cherish. Michael has described himself as still being Mr. Optimist, even after all he's been through. But his optimism is not naive or shallow. It's hard-won, tested by years of struggle, and grounded in reality. It's an optimism that acknowledges the darkness while still looking for light, that admits the challenges while still believing change is possible, that accepts uncertainty while still hoping for the best. For elderly audiences reading this story, many of whom are dealing with their own health challenges or supporting loved ones who are, Michael J. Fox's journey offers both practical wisdom and emotional sustenance. His story reminds us that we are not alone in facing health difficulties, that even celebrities and successful people struggle with serious illnesses, and that there is no shame in admitting when things are hard. Michael's emphasis on accepting help when needed, adapting to changing circumstances, and finding new sources of purpose and meaning speaks directly to the experiences of aging and dealing with health challenges. His willingness to use a wheelchair when walking becomes too difficult, to accept assistance with daily tasks when needed, and to adjust his expectations of what he can accomplish demonstrates practical wisdom about living with limitations. For caregivers and family members, Michael's relationship with Tracy and their children offers a model of how families can support someone with a chronic illness while maintaining their own identities and relationships. Tracy's statement that their children help her and that she leans on them acknowledges the reality that caregiving is difficult and that building a support network is essential. For anyone dealing with their own diagnosis or health challenge, Michael's journey from secrecy to public advocacy, from denial to acceptance, and from despair to renewed purpose shows that our response to illness can evolve over time. The way you feel immediately after a diagnosis doesn't have to be the way you feel forever. Acceptance can come gradually. Hope can be rebuilt. New purposes can be found. Fox's battle with Parkinson's disease is one of the most inspiring celebrity health stories of our time. From his early days as a beloved sitcom star and movie icon, through the shock of his diagnosis at 29, to his emergence as perhaps the world's most effective advocate for Parkinson's research, Michael's journey demonstrates the profound impact one person can have when they choose to turn personal adversity into public good. His story is not a fairy tale with a happy ending. Parkinson's disease is still progressing. The challenges are real and ongoing. The future remains uncertain. But Michael continues to live with courage, grace, humor, and an unshakable commitment to making life better for others facing similar struggles. The foundation he created has fundamentally changed the landscape of Parkinson's research. The billions of dollars raised have accelerated progress toward better treatments, and potentially, a cure. The biomarker discovery offers hope for early detection and intervention. The collaborative scientific networks fostered by the Foundation have broken down barriers and sped up research timelines. All of this exists because Michael J. Fox chose not to hide his diagnosis, but to harness his celebrity for a greater cause. But perhaps Michael's greatest gift to all of us is simply how he lives. Honestly, openly, with acceptance of what is and hope for what might be. He shows us that it's possible to acknowledge difficulty without being consumed by it, to accept limitations while still pushing forward, and to find joy and meaning even when life takes unexpected and unwanted turns. For the millions of people around the world living with Parkinson's disease, for their families and caregivers, for anyone facing a health challenge or life difficulty, Michael J. Fox stands as a beacon of hope. Not because he has conquered his disease, he hasn't, but because he has shown that a life can remain rich, purposeful, and inspiring even in the face of such challenges. As Michael himself might say, you take the good, and you seize it. You wake up each day and get the message about what that day will be like, and you adjust. You accept what you cannot change while working tirelessly to change what you can. You lean on the people who love you. You find humor in dark moments. You maintain hope even when the path forward is uncertain. That is the story of Michael J. Fox's journey with Parkinson's disease. It's a story that continues to unfold, day by day, challenge by challenge, victory by victory. And it's a story that will continue to inspire for generations to come, long after a cure for Parkinson's is finally found. A cure that will exist in part because one beloved actor refused to let his diagnosis define him, and instead chose to define what his diagnosis could mean for the world. Michael's legacy is secure, not just as the charming young man who traveled through time in a DeLorean or made us laugh as Alex P. Keaton, but as someone who showed us all what true courage, resilience, and humanity look like in the face of life's greatest challenges.